Hey, board gamers, BJ from Board Game Gumbo here, back with another episode of Gumbo Live. It's episode 78, presented tonight by our friends at Game Toppers LLC. Upgrade your gaming experience with Game Toppers LLC. And stay tuned tonight. We're still doing that exciting new contest that Berkey has. Gumbo Live, the #1 Facebook Live talk show dedicated to board gaming. Our special guest tonight, holy cow, I'm excited. It's Mandi Hutchinson of the Dice Tower and To Die For Games. We got a lot to chat with her tonight. Board Game Gumbo is a proud member of Punchboard Media. That's right. Check out our other fine members. Hey, when we started this thing, there was a guy named Eric Yoko who was doing all of these pictures and the reviews, and it was like 100, and now he's over 450 reviews. So check out What's Eric Playing. It's a weekly review series for various board games, tabletop games with amazing photography, all since 2015. Punchboard Media, where we all bring something to the table. Hit us up on social media tonight at Board Game Gumbo on Twitter, or on Facebook at facebook.com/BoardGameGumbo, and we'll be looking for your questions in the chat. But enough blather. Let's get right to our guest, Mandi Hutchinson. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Mandi, it is awesome to have you here. I've always wanted to have you on the show. We actually tried a couple of months ago, but you were a busy bee.
I know. I'm so sorry. I've been wanting to do it, and that's just something keeps coming up. So I'm like, we got to make it happen.
Give us the elevator pitch. I don't know who out there doesn't know who Mandi is, but just in case, give us the elevator pitch. Who is Mandi Hutchinson, and what's she been up to on the Dice Tower lately?
Oh, my goodness. So, yeah, there's just so much. So, as you mentioned before, I started in board gaming with my own channel, To Die For Games. I love horror movies, hence the riff on the name. So, anybody who's seen the logo, too. One die, 4 games with some blood dripping on it.
Sure.
My friend was really cool for doing that. So I don't want to interject that into it. But I started basically because I didn't really see anyone that kind of looked like me that was giving the perspective, So I said, hey, let's do this for fun. And then it turned into something much larger than that, and made my way over to the Dice Tower, meeting Tom at, what was it, an international tabletop day in Montreal. So Montreal for all of you. And sure. Yeah, so I heard squeeze of glee at a table about a game. Oh, this is so good. This is so good. And I turn over and there's Tom, and went over. I said, here's my card. Maybe I should be on your show, kind of thing. And he's like, sure, send me a video. And then that's how we had the whole lunchtime segment. And so people know me from, hey guys, it's lunchtime. And we did little lunchtime games, and people thought,
I love that segment.
It was just fun. I mean, I play with colleagues at work. So I said, hey, a lot of people don't know what to play at lunch. What's going to fit in an hour or, half an hour? So here you go. And did that with some friends that I do play with. And from there, Tom approached Suzanne and I said, hey, you guys have been doing this for a while, and, we want to put you on the podcast, get some different perspective. And here we are.
At first, you two guys, it was a little awkward at first. Now, I think you guys are so smooth. There's like a rapport that you and maybe it's because y'all share so many spaces when you go out on conventions, but right. It's almost like listening in on two friends just chatting about games. Does it feel like that?
So people don't realize the first time Suzanne and I actually met in person was at BGG Con. I think it was 2 years ago. And that was the same con that we put out that video. I think it was like a back talk video.
Right.
That's literally the first time we've met.
Wow.
And then Tom's like, here, video. Okay, hi, nice to meet you. Let's do this video, And it just happened that we, had a lot of the same values and got along really well. The podcast was new territory for both of us. We had both done video. I knew video. My friend does movies, so he was very kind to, help me out. So I was like, oh, I'm getting comfortable. So when Tom says podcast, like I'm talking to you now, my hands are going, everything's going, So podcast is like, oh my goodness. So yeah, it was a struggle in the beginning because people were used to Tom and Eric, and they have a thing and they've been doing it for a while. So they got a nice vibe going. And we were just trying to figure out what we wanted to do. And, we welcomed people saying, oh, we like this, maybe try this. Oh, that's great. Thank you. Constructive criticism is great. It's helped us. And we're still going to continue to kind of evolve and make changes. But I'm hoping that our friendship comes through, because even though it was fast, it's strong.
Yep, it absolutely does. You guys are getting smooth. Hey, it's a live show. We got some people in the chat. That's Jesse Sagelade. Jesse does movies himself. You may have seen the movie Must Love Board Games. That's Jesse and the crew, and he's saying, hey there.
Well, hello.
That's from iHeart Board Games. If you ever get a chance, check out their Twitch channel. And Bradley says he's too fancy for us now. I know. Mandi is. It's a great guest to get, man. Oh, what a get. Loving it here.
It's the blue hair.
Steve is going to be helping us out with the show. You got to meet him in the pre-show earlier. He says, hello, BJ, Mandi, and chat. Looking forward to a great show. And Mandi, He's been cooking up a pretty spicy jambalaya for you. So
later
on, we're going to get that done. Marshall Wells, who heads up the Sinlaw group, just a little north of our Cajun area. So I don't think Marshall speaks French, but he says, good evening all. So Mandy, I wanted to ask you.
Sure.
You've got the coolest Twitter pic I've ever seen. Where did you get this thing?
So this is one of a few. So this is the more kind of vintage one. I have another one that's more like a chibis kind of, so cartoony. It's really cute with like a die. So there's this person online, Brian McGinnis. I hope I got his last name correct. And he's an artist. And he said, I really love board games. I love what you do. He's also into vintage kind of vibe as well, because he's been asked to do these kinds of characters for other types of people. And he said, I really like your thing. He's like, can I do this for you? And I was like, oh, yeah, sure. And then I said, no, but like, I got to pay you, you know, and it's work for you. And he's like, fine, sure. And then he came up with this one. The initial one was gray hair. And then I had changed it to blue. He's like, well, we got to fix it. So we got to change it to blue. And then he's like, I just like what you do. And I like your style. And it was very kind to do that for me. So thank you, Brian.
It is the coolest one out there, man. I love it. And I've been using it to promote the show because it's just different. It's got a great look. So, man, do you play board games?
You know.
There's one that I got yesterday from my buddy Bradley, who was at BGG Spring, and the podfather himself, Stephen Bonacore, said, you got to play this game. Bradley knows that I like the original, and I want to know. BJ from Board Game Gumbo, I've got my guest here, Mandi from the Dice Tower, and I've got Doppelt So Clever. I just got my hands on it last night, and I want to get your thoughts on it. I played 2 solo games, but I haven't played it with anybody yet. What do you think?
So it took a couple plays. I was like, okay, it's different. I was trying to get my mindset out from the original one, which, by the way, yes, I see everyone posting their 300 plus scores. That is not me. Okay, so fine. I applaud you, but I'm not that good.
I haven't broke 200 yet.
Me too.
Okay.
I'm lucky to get high hundreds. So this one, I like the fact that there was more going on. It's difficult. I do find that you have to, yes, you kind of have to dabble like the other one in different areas of the board, but you really do need to like commit. So like the gray area of the board, I think is one of the coolest areas.
It's the most fun.
But it forces you to kind of give up a lot of dice to do it. So you're committing to it. I have a thing with commitment. So, you know, like I think it's good, but I don't know. So, but I mean, overall, I enjoyed it. It's definitely one like the other one. You have to play it a few times to get a feel for it, to understand it. But I definitely think you should start with Ganz schön clever, because I feel like if you go here, you might be like, oh, well, that might be too easy. This is, work your way up.
Kevin says it's more like 1.5 times as clever, if you ask him. Kevin, good point. I don't think it's twice as hard as the other one.
No.
But I think Mandy's right. It is a lot more thinky than the original one. The green one, where you have to remember to have a higher than a lower, or else you're going to take negative points. The silver one, where, when you pick the silver one, you're dumping all the lower dice out there. But the benefit is they're all going on your board. So there's a lot to think about in this one, but I really enjoyed it. I don't have a strategy like I did with Ganz schön Clever yet.
Right.
Do you have anything, any strategy yet?
Oh, you had a strategy? I just went with like, oh, that looks good. Let's go with that. That's probably why I'm not breaking 200. But in my old one, I like to keep that lowest score up in the 20s or 30s if I could get it, and then pop 3 or 4 or 5 foxes and get that big multiplier. Absolutely. And I think that's my problem. Foxes, I kind of like, I'll get a couple, but I think I need to up that. I definitely like the yellow in the original, the Ganz schön Clever, the original yellow area. I kill that. I kill the yellow area. And then I think the green is the one I'm usually lacking in. So gotta up that.
That is Doppelt So Clever from our friends at Stronghold. I think it's Pegasus Spiel over there on the European side, but the version I have is Stronghold.
Schmidt-Spiel.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that. And that's Doppelt So Clever. Maybe, as Kevin said, 1.5 times as clever, but still an enjoyable, at least so far, at least it's been an awesome solo game, and I can't wait to bring it out to Gumbo Game Night. So hopefully we'll get that. BJ from Board Game Gumbo, I've got my guest Mandi here, who is a fan, if I understand right, of Vital Lacerda. I
love me some Vital.
We like the Portuguese designers. Both of us have some Portuguese heritage in our genealogy. And Escape Plan is the one I've played. Lisboa, I've played Vinhos. That's about all I've played so far. But Escape Plan, I love the theme. Have you played it?
So I played this one. It was taught to me by, and I'm trying to remember, whoever was the representative for Eagle Griffin at Dice Tower West.
Okay.
And we played the max player count. So it did take a while. But definitely this is a lighter game for Vital. I mean, I've played them all. The Gallerist, Lisboa.
Lighter in air quotes, right?
Right. I say lighter because there's still a lot going on, but it is definitely less going on than some of the others.
So the theme is a bunch of people who've already stolen money and they've hid it around the city, right?
Yes. And you're trying to escape. But
you're trying to escape, but without getting caught on it.
Without getting caught, and you want to get out before other people.
Competitive like all those other games. It's not a cooperative game, even though it sounds like it would be cooperative, right?
Well, it's one of those ones where it's implied. You got to play nice for a little while and then like hightail it out of there. See you later. Peace.
Oh, I love those. So it's cooperative until it's not.
Exactly.
So Anna Maria, who says, hey, she loves the Gallerist. I haven't played the Gallerist yet.
That was in my top 100. The Gallerist is one of my all-time. It is one of his most intuitive games. We had a discussion, Vital and I, about that in Lisboa. And I am like, Lisboa is a harder game to learn than the Gallerist. He's like, no, it's easier. I'm like, no, the Gallerist is easier.
As Vital says, Lisboa is just you play a card and then you draw a card. I mean, that's the whole game, right? You play a card, you draw a card.
It is not as intuitive. The Gallerist for me was like, it was a nice flow. I also had, well, then again, I had a connection to both themes, but I found it had a more intuitive vibe for me. Love them both. Vital and I will disagree on that one.
Yeah. Have you ranked them? Have you ranked them in your mind as to your favorite Vital games?
Oh, for sure. I mean, maybe not like this is definite number one, but higher up on there. The Gallerist is definitely up there. Kanban is another one that it's so good. So those are definitely up in the top two. Lisboa is up there for me as well. That one took me a while to kind of come around though. So once I got it, I was like, okay, I like it. I see where it's going. I'm trying to think. I'm missing some. I'm trying to go through my shelf. But I liked it. It's not as high as some of the others, but I did enjoy it. I do enjoy it. It's just not as high as some of the others.
I liked it, but I think Lisboa is a better game. I really do. And I think maybe not the first time you played, you won't see it, but the more you play Lisboa, the more you see how the theme. He didn't just say, I need a bunch of mechanics and I'm going to just throw points on them. Right. It really is a thematic experience, you know? Maybe it doesn't come across as you're a builder and you're rebuilding all that. I get that. But all of the actions have a meaning as you know, when you think in terms of the rebuilding of the city.
Right.
And I really like that. Kanban is the one that it looks like something I think I would enjoy, but I'm gonna need somebody to give me a teach on that one. I've heard some rumors that it's a lot to digest.
It's a lot. And there's a couple ways you can play it. You can play it with, I forget her name. Is it Pam or something like that? Sandra, that's it. And, you know, she could be the mean manager. And I'm like, oh, it's kind of fun. It's intense. I like it, though.
Which way do you play? Do you play with the mean Sandra or the nice Sandra?
No, the nice Sandra. I don't like being mean.
Yeah, I think that's how I play it. So Escape Plan, is this the one that you would say, if you're going to play a Vital start a game, you'd start out with Escape Plan?
See, in this... Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Like, I know it is. I said it's one of the easier ones, and there's still a lot going on. It's just not as intense, I feel, as some of the other ones. But I mean, if you were just starting out, I wouldn't go with Lisboa. Let's put it that way. I wouldn't go with Kanban. Not, you know what I mean? Like, if you did a Gallerist, that could work. Escape Plan is another one that could work. Any of the other ones might be maybe play a couple before you get to them. So it definitely would be up there as one of the ones to start with. But it really just depends on how your mind works.
Does it have that cascading of actions? You know, Vital jokes that it's play a card, draw a card,
right?
Or in Vinhos where, I'm just going to invest in this one little winery over here. But it's really not that simple. When you play the card, it chains up to 4 or 5 actions that you have to remember. And when you get to the third part of it and you realize, I don't have enough money to do what I wanted to do. Right. Now you got to back out all those actions and tell everybody, sorry, I thought I had enough money to do it. I got to do something else. I can't tell you how many times this happened. Does Escape Plan have that play in action and it's going to lead to consequences? It's almost like wheels and gears that turn every time you move something.
There's definitely a build. There's definitely where, you need to start doing things to open other things up to do things. And of course, money plays, a role in that, and making sure you have enough money. And also doing things where you're not going to force yourself to take a hit. I'm trying to remember. It's been a while since I played it, but there's the rating scale about for first player, second player, so turn order. I'm trying to remember what this was based on, but I think it had to do with if you weren't able to battle the police or whatever it was, or you didn't win that battle, you ended up getting like a mark against you, something like this. And that could affect your standing, your ratings, and that could be problematic for you later. You're trying to open up spaces on your board in order to place, tokens and tiles and things like that, or cards that are going to help you. And I find that if you don't do this soon enough in the game, you're going to get left behind. You're going to have problems. People are going to start taking the good tiles when they get to certain areas of the board that you might need. And then you're scrambling, right? That's when you get desperate. And then there's a part of the board where it requires you to build up. You need to, not set collection, but you need to meet certain conditions. So it is one of those games, but I feel like it's one that might be a bit easier for people to digest. Still could be pretty, not terrible, but you gotta be careful.
Bradley says Vinhos beats out Lisboa. Agree? Disagree?
How many times have you played Lisboa? There's a reason I asked that, because
4 times for me.
And when did it click for you?
The 3rd time, I think.
But see what I mean? Like, it took me, I had seen it before it even launched. Paul Grogan was kind enough to teach myself and a few other contributors, and he's teaching the game, and I'm looking over at Annetter's place, so Annette on Twitter, and
sure.
My face was like this. I don't know what's going on. And Paul was a fantastic teacher. It was just me. I just wasn't getting it. And
I learned from his video.
No,
that's how I learned the game.
Did a great job. So I think it took me partway through my second play, and I was like, oh, I got it. Versus Vinhos, I find it's a bit easier to get right off the bat. Lisboa takes time.
Marshall, you're killing me. Marshall says, I don't know that I know anyone who even owns a Lacerda game. I own Lisboa. I've got the Kickstarter edition, Marshall. We're only 50 miles away. We just need to hook up.
They're hard to get to the table.
Bradley wants to know if I'm counting that very first play when we completely screwed up the rules. Yes, I'm sort of counting that play. We went through a whole first age. I forget what it's called. You know, you have the 2 different ages.
Right.
I just can't remember what it's called. It's not age, but it's something like that. Mm-hmm. And yes, I did get the rule wrong. But that's pretty common with Lacerda games. I mean, they're pretty tough. So I went back and I watched Paul Grogan's video, and I watched 2 whole playthroughs of the game.
Oh, you did.
And finally it started to click after all that. Yes, Bradley, we got it's a shared experience. We got the game wrong. So that is Escape Plan from Vital Lacerda. I'm hearing a hesitant recommendation from Matt.
I've only played it once, to be fair, and I also played a game at full player count. And I know Vital even commented online, and he's recommended me trying it again at a lower player count just to get a different experience. And I agree with him. I think that's probably the best way to do it. And then I had a few interruptions chatting with people. I'm at Dice Tower Con West, so people are there to see the team. And so I just feel like the experience might have marred my what I think about the game, but the game itself was good. I just think I need to play it again at a different player count and actually get through it straight without having to stop, start, that sort of thing.
That is tough. Yeah. BJ from Board Game Gumbo, I've got my guest Mandi from the Dice Tower and To Die For games, and we're talking some of our spiciest games recently. I got to play this one at BGG Con, but not the edition you played. You got to try Welcome to Halloween edition. Is that right?
So fancy. It's like Trick or Treat or something along those lines. Yeah.
I didn't even know the name, so I'm just calling it Halloween.
I think I called it Trick or Treat, but I don't think that's what it's called actually.
So what's the difference? Is it the same game? Is it just a different sheet? What are we talking about there?
Yeah, so the essence of the game is the same. They just provide you with, if people are seeing the picture, you just get new sheets. And it's a Halloween theme, and Halloween is one of my, if not favorite holiday ever. Ooh. So yes, I love the scary stuff. So I was like, yeah, send it over. And in this game, you have on your streets, you have ghosts, and you have that disgusting candy that they used to give out in Halloween. You know, the triangular, what do you call those things? Don't
you dare.
Candy corn.
You don't like candy corn. I've heard you say that on the podcast, and I couldn't believe that.
It's like Thrills gum. Is anybody that's Canadian in the chat? You will know exactly what I'm talking about.
Do we have any Canadians who know what Thrills gum is? I don't know what it is.
If you want something that tastes like soap, Thrills gum's your treat.
Oh, I love candy corn. Okay, I'll let it slide. If it tastes like soap to you, then I understand.
terrible. But so in this game, each of the streets will have the candy corn, the ghosts. And what you're trying to do is you want to focus on either the corn or the ghost. You can do both, but there's a new objective that comes out when you do the Halloween one that replaces one of the regular kind of objective cards in the base game.
Oh, the middle cards. Okay.
Right. Those 3 cards,
Sure.
that you can get additional points. And one of them that, for example, we played with was based on having a certain amount of ghosts circled on your board. And the problem is if you start going for candy corn, you're not going to be able to get all the ghosts. So now you've just kind of blocked yourself out of getting that card. But the ghosts provide you, I don't know, it's kind of hard to see in the picture, but you'll see like a 5, 7, 9. Basically, if you have 5 ghosts in this line, then you get the first bonus, but then no one else can get that bonus.
I was looking for the pools. So the swimming pools are gone and they're replaced by the ghosts? Is that what it is?
No, they're there, but I think they're
still there? Okay.
They're just like really algae-ridden pools. They're just green, I think.
Anna Marie wants to know, how do you recommend storing all the expansions? Do you have the base game and all the expansions?
Yeah, and the problem with me is for Welcome 2 and all of them, I laminate them. And when you laminate them, they do not fit in the box.
Even if you trim it?
Yeah, it's really tight. Like I feel like they kind of bow a little bit. So I have another little thing that I use.
We need to talk to Nolan about that. We need to get Nolan to get just a little bit bigger box, because laminating if you play the game a lot, laminating is going to work, right?
Yes, and it's such like most of my roll and write games or whatnot are fairly small, so I can fit them in like a quiver case or something to that effect. Sure. This does not fit in the quiver case, so
y'all should talk about roll and writes more on the podcast.
Yeah, just a little more.
I'm sorry.
That is Suzanne is the queen of the roll and write. I am just there for the ride.
She is. Although you talked about the roll and write before she did.
No, you
talked about Doppelt So Clever.
Oh, that's true. But it's just because I got to it first.
Steve O'Rourke, you're killing me. He says, candy delicious, corn awesome, candy corn an abomination. No, that's an abomination, Steve. Get that off of my show.
It's like pineapple on pizza. You just don't do it.
Who hates candy corn? Oh my God. All right. But I understand if it tastes like soap. We're gonna let that slide. And that is Welcome to a game that I really enjoyed at BGG Con. I enjoyed it surprisingly more than I thought. I thought it was a cool little puzzle to play, and it was unlike most roll and writes where it almost feels like you're just kind of playing by yourself. There was some tension in the group because we're staring at those objective cards and we're looking at each other going, who's got what? We need to make sure we grab that thing,
Right.
So I'm glad to hear that. And again, when it has unique themes as they come out, somebody was saying, it might have been you guys. Somebody was talking about the Imperial Settlers roll and write, saying
that's Suzanne. Yeah.
You guys, okay.
Suzanne. Yeah.
Y'all were saying that there was like 35 different sheets in the box with different ways to play. And look, I love Ignacy to death. That's insane thinking to put all that in there. That is so much replayability. I love hearing that.
I don't have a copy, by the way. I need to buy one. I need to find one. So I'm just yelling out, if you see it, I will buy one. I need to get it.
I definitely, it wasn't on my radar at all. I was like, what do I need Imperial Settlers roll and write? And then when she's describing it, you can tell her she actually sold it for me.
Love it.
That sounds really good.
Amazing.
All right, so that is we're going to be finished with the roll and write section of board game. That's more roll and writes than we've ever talked about on the show. BJ from Board Game Gumbo. I've got my guest here, Mandy from the Dice Tower, and we're not talking roll and writes this time. We're talking a game. I love Spiel des Jahres. I love the ones that are nominated. I try to play them, but I miss this one. This is Luxor, Mandy, and you've played and I haven't. So make me jealous. Do I want to play it, or is it okay that I missed it?
So, and don't at me, anyone. My memory is short, so if I miss anything, I'm sorry. It's been months since I played this.
It's just me and you talking here tonight.
Oh, yeah. So, this game for me was okay. It's not, and it was fairly expensive because I think they had it on Kickstarter, and I know for me, Kickstarter is a whole other thing, but it would have been very expensive for Canadians to get it. It was okay for me. I'm trying to remember the basics of the game. I think, that's right. You had like a hand of cards, and I don't
kind of a racing game, right?
Yeah, but I don't. You had to play them, I think, based on the way they were sitting in your hand. Like they had to be beside each other.
Oh, okay.
Like so, you had to take it. They had to be adjacent or something like this, and then you had to play them. And basically, it's a racing game. Yeah, you're trying to get around the board. There's different tiles that will give you different bonuses.
Sort of like Bonanza, where you have the card order in your hand is very important.
Oh, right. Exactly. Okay. Same sort of thing. Yes, exactly. And then you can. I'm trying to remember. I just remember something about adding them together.
Are those your fingernails?
Yes, I've changed them. They're pink now. But yeah, where they're sitting is important. And you have all these meeples that you're trying to get around the board because you're trying to get there first. But where they're sitting by the end of the game, that's where you're getting points. And obviously, the further in you go, the more points you're going to get. And they even have tiles that come out that transport them. So you could be at the beginning. Oh, there's a little transporter that came out that someone may have opened later in the board. So at the beginning and then transports you closer to the end. Things like that. And then they have other tiles that give you bonuses, and I think they're like scarab tiles or something, but other things that give you bonuses, or you get bonus cards if you land on a certain tile that like make your hand better. So the overall game was fine. Like, it wasn't a terrible experience. Do I want to spend my hard-earned 60 to 80 Canadian dollars?
No,
not necessarily.
So that's a convention library. Grab it at the library, play it once or twice, but it's not a collection staple for you.
No, this would be, if it comes to the table, I'm happy to play it. I have a lot of games. This is not one I think that would make it in the collection.
Bradley says BGG Spring, they actually had an Imperial Settlers Roll and Write tournament. We missed it, Mandy.
I know.
Have you been to BGG Spring?
No, it's been a long time because I'm doing so much with the Dice Tower. And yes, I know, believe it or not, I have a full-time job.
Yes. It's like we all do.
Exactly. So I have to obviously dedicate time for Dice Tower conventions, and then it makes it difficult.
The Name Father says, talking about Luxor, the fact that the memory of it is pretty hazy, that probably says everything we need to know, because you'd remember it if it was special.
Well, yeah, but I mean, my memory is pretty bad. But you're right, I probably would have remembered a lot more.
BJ from Board Game Gumbo, I've got my guest Mandi here, and I'm going to introduce a designer that I don't know if she's heard of, Stefan Feld. Yes, you heart Stefan Feld. Everyone knows that, but for good reason. He puts out consistently good games. Sure. Aquasphere is my favorite, but I like a lot of his games. This is one that intrigues me because I'm a history major. I love history. I love politics, and I'm really curious about this one. I think I have the name right. Revolution of 1828. Is that right?
That's it. You got it.
So have you gotten a chance to play it?
Oh, I can talk about this one. Well, because I've taught this several times. We talked about it on the podcast. And let me just make it clear. Just because I love Feld doesn't mean, yes, I may acquire or obtain a lot of his games. Doesn't mean I like them all. Listen to the episode where we talk about Merlin. And then
I'm not going to spoil it, but you mentioned something in the episode. There's a Feld, and I'm not going to spoil it. There's a Feld you haven't even played yet.
Yes, I know. I'm so sad. If you're listening, Mr. Feld, I apologize.
So you are a Feld fangirl, but you don't like every single Feld game that comes out.
Right. Yeah, okay. There's a few that don't hit the mark for me. It's funny because Aquasphere is one that I actually really enjoyed and I'm really good at, but I know a lot of people it's not one that they care for.
I like it. It's my favorite Feld.
Yeah, I enjoy it. It's not my favorite, but I do enjoy it. But
Bradley says Oracle of Delphi is his favorite Feld. Are you a fan?
I liked it. I think people were so upset about it because it was different than what he normally does. It's a racing game, right? And people were like, oh. And it wasn't just his usual point salad-y type of thing. So I think people had a negative reaction to it. And I actually enjoyed it. It's a game that I do like. I still have it.
I think my official review was, I loved the way that you build up all the little, it's been so long. It's like the God powers, but the actual racing part bored me. But I loved building up all the God powers. That was the most fun,
That was. I agree 100% with you. That was the best part. So.
Let's talk some politics. We got a campaign from 1828 that not a lot of people remember. Right? I know I wasn't around for that one. So Stefan Feld reaches all the way back to that and says, I'm going to make a point salad game. Is that right?
Yeah, sort of. Point salad-y, not necessarily.
Oh, really?
It's a two-player. So, I mean, for Feld, does he even have any that are strictly two-player? This is the first one I think of that I've played that is strictly a two-player Feld.
I don't think
that's not true. I think he does have another one. Oh, what is the name of it? Someone will say it. It's Arena.
All right, chat crew, you're on.
There's two Arena games he has, and I think one of them is a two-player. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Let's see. Oh, hey, there's Jambalaya checking in. What's up, Jambalaya?
But in this one here, so I am not a history buff. Not my thing, but I was like, I learned something about smear campaigns here because this is really what we're looking at. So it's a two-player game, and you'll see the board if you can all see what it's pictured there. You're looking at delegates on the board, and you're trying to get, so those are the circular tokens on the board there. And that's it. Roma. Thank you. Roma was the other two-player. I knew it. There was
Nice
another.
job. Nice
Thank you.
job, name father.
Okay, my apologies. Now
All
getting
right,
back to it.
so we're looking at the delegates. Is that right?
Yeah, so the delegates are the round tokens there that are colored, but not all of those tokens are delegates. Some are, I don't know the correct terminology, but they give you bonuses. They're the kind of brown colored one. There's one that's closer to the right-hand side of the picture there. And then you'll see at the upper end of the board, there's a kind of a black colored tile, and those are the smear campaign tiles. You don't want those. And then you have I think it's the electoral votes or the electorates, and you want those on your side of the board because they're going to gain you more points. So to back that all up, what you're trying to do, the game takes place over 4 rounds, and you're trying to gain the most delegates and even the electoral vote at the end of the round to get.
I guess you want these guys, right?
Those are your
lots and lots of these.
Those are your points. So once we start doing the points, those are the chits you're going to get after. I know, it's fancy. And you do this. So after every round, there's a scoring. So that's typical kind of Feld. So yeah, so there you can see the board once a round's been completed. So what's going to happen on your turn is you're going to pick one of the delegates or one of the tiles off of the board and put it under the corresponding color on your side of the board. You want the most in each color, if possible.
Okay.
Some of the bonus kind of tiles, the brown colored ones, those ones are going to help you out, like maybe give you an extra action or, force someone else to do something they don't want to do. And those tiles stay to the side in a stack because whoever has the most of those at the end of the round will get points for that. There's one, I don't know if you can see, it might be cut off on here, but the black kind of electorate that's to the far left, you do not want that. And it might be cut off in this picture, and the other one you might be able to see it. You don't want that. You want somebody else to get that, because for every smear token you have, smear tokens are great during the game because they help you get majority in an area. So, you need that extra tile, take a smear token, put it there. That's all they're there to do. However, if the media catches you, ooh, we've caught your eye, meaning that electorate comes to your side of the board, you basically are giving points away for each smear campaign token that you have, and those accumulate every round. So every other tile goes away. These tiles stay with you. So literally, that's how I usually win this game, by making people eat points, because I make sure they get that media token so they can give me points. Anyway, so you do that for 4 rounds, and at the end of the 4 rounds, basically whoever has the most points wins. That's literally the game. You can play in the lunch hour. I think we played in about 30-ish minutes.
Oh, it's quick playing. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, first play is about 45 once you learn the rules. But yeah, you can bang it out in 30 minutes.
And 2-player only.
2-player only.
I like it. And that is Stefan Feld's new one. Is that from Renegade Games? Is that right?
So Renegade put this one out. We did mention on the podcast, we had some issues with the coloring of some of the tiles, the kind of bonus token tiles and the smear tokens. They're very close in color, and they're a little hard to distinguish.
Are they going to fix it, do you think, in subsequent editions?
We mentioned it. I'm not sure. Some people, no one else, I don't think, has mentioned it. But definitely, I think that's a bit of an issue.
Well, Jesse and Melissa, they are big Feld fans. They have an entire shelf in the house, which I've seen. I mean, it's from top to bottom, and it's nothing but Stefan Feld games.
Love it.
Man.
Love it. That's amazing.
That is nice. So that is Revolution of 1828 from Stefan Feld. A thumbs up from Mandy?
Oh, so it's one of those where it's not like, yeah, it's like, yeah, it's here. Yeah, it's good. If you don't have a lot of 2-player games kind of like this on your shelf, you should check this out.
Yeah, my wife and I like 2-player games. Lost Cities we played forever, and we have a bunch of other ones. This one sounds interesting. She loves history too, so that is one. This next part, Mandy, we're going to probably need some help from the chat crew. I had this question in my mind and it was bubbling. You play a lot of games and you talk about a lot of designers, but we always hear about the shelf of shame, chat crew. Do we have designers of shame? Designers who we want to play their games, but either we have never played them, like Marshall talking about never playing a Vital Lacerda game, or have very little plays, maybe just one game. The one that came to my mind was Albin Viard, Clinic, Pulp Detective that Jambalaya loves, Card City Tramways that Jason Dinger loves. Those are all games that look right up my alley. And I was thinking about that. Can the chat crew stump Mandy? Are there designers out there that she hasn't played yet, Mandy, that maybe you go, ooh, that's one I wanted to play and haven't played?
I definitely think if we get into a certain genre of game, that is a high probability. It depends.
Yeah. So, all right, chat crew, you're on. Steve's going to talk about one of his games. I think Steve had told me before the Italian designers. And Mandy, I'm telling you, the more and more that I play games, the more I like these Italian designers and the way that they take a lot of different mechanics, but they elegantly put them together, almost thematic. I don't want to say Coimbra is thematic or Lorenzo is thematic. I don't want to say it like that. But the way that they play the mechanics out, they're really good. Jesse, that's probably not going to work. Potala Serta is going to be one that I think you've played every Potala Serta. But you know what? I'm going to ask you, did you play the Potala Serta game that he designed with his daughter?
I saw it on Kickstarter, and I was hoping to not necessarily get a review copy, but even if someone had it, to try it out. So that is actually one I have not played, but I am interested in at least checking it out.
So Steve's is Simone Luciani. I think I need to build up more Euro games, and I'm ready to dive in. He and I have been playing Euro games online together. So he finally got a copy of Voyages of Marco Polo. By the way, love it. Dice Oh, I love the dice manipulation. I'm terrible. I am so bad at this game, man. But you don't have to be good at a game to like it, right?
No, of course. Oh my gosh, then I'd never like anything. But Marco Polo for me was.
There's something about dice manipulation. I just love that, and that's one of the ones. I'm just I've got to get better. I've played 2 or 3 times now. Bradley can correct me. I think we played 3 times, and I've never made it to the final city. I can never get across. It's like a squirrel. I see all this other stuff going on the board, and I just want to chase it down. Marshall's got one.
Okay.
Carl Chuddick.
Oh.
Have you played any Carl Chuddick games?
Okay. The name is not jumping out at me. Can you give me an example?
All right, Check. Give some examples. Let's see. So
I'm actually going to, while you're chatting, I'm going to pull this up.
So is Glory to Rome? Isn't that Carl Chuddick?
Yes, I have not played that.
And that is it's not Innovation. Is it Innovation? Oh, I'm
pretty sure I've played Innovation. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I know Innovation is his. What else is he? Glory to Rome he did, right?
Yeah.
Impulse and Red 7. Oh, and a game there. Steve just mentioned it. Matanai. That is one that my friends Alex and Sean from the Dukes of Dice, they just really talk up, and I haven't played. So is Carl Chuddick one of those designers that I've only played one game, but you'd want to play more?
I think I've played a few. I don't know if this is a designer that I don't know. So Motanai, how do you say it? My goodness.
Matanai.
Matanai, thank you. I know. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. My co-host that I do the playthroughs on Dice Tower, we're a bit of a hiatus right now, but this is one of his favorite games. Loves it, loves it, loves it. My brain doesn't work like his. No, seriously, like we think very differently, and I don't know. I've heard it's a good game. I just don't know if that's designer. I've played a few games. I'm like, yeah, they're good. I just don't know if it's one that stands out to me.
Marshall, that's a no.
Sorry.
All right, chat crew. What about anybody else have a designer out there? Anybody else have a designer that we can stump Mandi that she hasn't played but wants to play? I'm gonna throw out one. I'm pretty sure you've played. Elizabeth Hargrave has 2 games that are super hot, and I'm assuming you've played one or both of them, Wingspan and Tussie Mussy.
Yes, I haven't played Tussie Mussy. I know that's new. I think that's on Kickstarter right now. Yes.
Yeah.
I played Wingspan, and I enjoyed it. I love birds. So for me, I was like, oh, this is adorable. So that made me very happy. Birds.
The art is awesome in that game.
It's fantastic. So, and it's always nice to see more female designers on the scene. So that made me very happy as well.
And especially with her too, because I love, and she was on the show a couple of weeks ago. And one of the things that I enjoyed visiting with her is her stance that I'm going to talk positively about women designers. Instead of saying, oh, whoa, we don't have enough, I'm going to do something about it. And I love people like that. That's sort of like the way that you do on the Dice Tower show. Yeah. She makes an effort to say, oh, you like one of my games? Well, you might like Carla Kopp's game, or you might like this game, or you might like, she's always publicizing women designers. And she did it. She posted today some kind of Twitter link with a bunch of other Kickstarters. And there was a couple of people that actually backed games because they said we hadn't heard them before. So that's what we need, more positivity. And, there are women designers. People think there aren't, and there are. We just need to give them some publicity.
Absolutely. And that's as soon as I see something come across my page, great, retweet, check this out.
Oh, the name father's coming hard with one.
Oh, Martin Wallace, come on. Of course. Come on.
But he says y'all don't talk about Martin Wallace much on the show.
So the
He's
problem
right.
with me is the problem is, so I have, a lot of games by Martin Wallace. Actually, we talked about, what's that one there?
Oh,
Wild.
Australia? No, Wildlands.
So
Yeah,
Wildlands, we've
it
both
was
played it.
Wildlands. Yeah.
Australia, I've played once. I need to play it again before I can review it. And I have the two, he did Brass, did he not?
Yes.
And I have both of those.
Mhm.
The problem is I've only played the games once. I have a lot of games to get through, and these ones were not set review copies. These are ones I bought for my own personal enjoyment.
Yeah.
So they're going to get to them eventually. So it's not that I'm avoiding it. I just need to give all of them another play before I can give it a good stamp of approval. Oh no, Martin Wallace is up there for me. Very nice.
Steve, that's a no.
Sorry.
I don't think we're going to stump her tonight. I think you've played enough games from people. Well, you know what? We'll move on, and then if anybody else comes, we'll let you talk about it, because I do want to hear latest Dice Tower. What's going on with the Dice Tower? In fact, just a general question. Yeah. What's your favorite part about being on the Dice Tower?
Oh boy, that's a big one. I mean, I think my favorite thing is getting to work with some really fun people. I mean, I love working with Suzanne, Eric, Tom Z, Sam, everybody, and even the people behind the scenes, like Kenny, so funny. Oh my goodness. But there's so many people behind the scenes that are fantastic as well. I love that. And we all get along. It's not a show. If we have a problem with someone, we tell them and we figure it out. And
sure,
I think that's really important. But I think also the fact that we're able to provide a different perspective. Yes, I get it. In this world, my mother always told me, not everyone's going to like you. That's okay. You surround yourself with positive people and, people they get along with and want to hear what you have to say, and that's okay. And I think that I like the fact that we're able to provide a different perspective, shake it up a little bit. So we're pulling in a different audience. So we do get a lot of people maybe who are used to Tom and Sam and Z.
Sure.
And I get that 100%. Like, you listen to the show for them. We also want to bring in other people that maybe weren't listening before and say, oh, you know what? Yeah, I like what she's saying. Or I agree with the type of game she played. And, like I tend to play more kind of Euro, worker placement, heavier types of games that align probably more with Jason. So you don't hear more about it on the show unless I bring it up or Jason brings it up. So, I like that I can add that, So I think the biggest thing is bringing in new people, new perspectives, something different.
Marshall says, let's shout back to some former Gumbo guests. Carla Kopp, Johnny Pack, or Dom Krapuschitz. Yes. Any of those three designers that you haven't got to experience yet?
Johnny Pack. That's the only name that's not familiar to me.
He did. It was just on Kickstarter. A Coloma that came out. It was it was a reissue of a game he had done a while back that was very, very small. It was like a self-published game, so not a lot of people played it. For the life of me, I'm drawing a blank as to what it was. He's got two. He's a young designer. He's only got a couple of games that are coming out, so maybe you haven't played any of his yet. But Coloma's fantastic. It's fun.
I saw it on Kickstarter, so it had started on Kickstarter. Like, oh, this looks interesting. But yes, I'm very familiar with Dominic. I have Oceans sitting in my basement right now to get another play in. So,
ooh, you already have it.
I just have a prototype. And Carla and I have played a couple games from her before. I think my friend Suzanne. No, it wasn't Suzanne. No, I did it with Carol. A review for her. What was it? Carol, it was it was a lighter kind of 4X type game.
Stellar Leap.
That's it. I enjoyed that.
I haven't got to play it. I played her other games, but I haven't played Stellar Leap yet. So
no, I enjoyed that quite a bit.
I actually don't have a copy of Stellar Leap. I need to get a copy of that. So
good.
Yeah, Nick. There's Nick. Nick does a lot of good reviews, and in fact, their 90-second nerd review, if you have not seen it yet, of Tussie Mussy, Mandy. When this finishes, you got to watch it. His buddy, and Nick, I apologize. I think it's Dallas is his name. It's funny. I don't want to spoil it. Go watch their review of Tussie Mussy. It's not what you think. It's really, really funny. They did a good job. 90-second nerd. Those guys are really funny. Thanks, Nick, for coming on. And yeah, that is awesome. 4,200% funded. I mean, Jason must be just ecstatic with a Button Shy game. And of course, he's selling all these other Button Shy games because people are going, oh, this is my chance to buy Sprawlopolis, or this is my chance to buy Super Tall, Yes. So
that's fantastic.
That is it. Oh, hey, before we get on to the next part, you've got a new show coming up, or you and Suze. You have any Gumbo scoop you could give us on this new show?
Oh, I wish. But it should have launched this past couple of weeks.
I'm putting you on the spot, and I love it.
So, well, we're still working through some things. So we've managed to get the structure set up, the whole streaming thing, because we're going to be doing multi-streaming.
Yeah, this is a lot. You guys are going to be live streaming games actually something strange, live streaming electronic versions of board games.
Right. So apps or games that are available on Steam. And so we have to test basically we have to test our setup for Steam. We have to test our setup for apps because it requires different applications. Yeah, it's a lot. So I think we're almost there. We've like got our intros and stuff together. We're just waiting for a few things from our sponsor to get that locked down, and then we can interject it and get the show going. So I don't want to give a deadline. I'm going to say soon. Coming soon.
Coming soon. Did y'all pick out a name yet, or is it you can't spoil that yet?
No, we did. I think I don't know if we posted it. Maybe we didn't. Did we not post it? And we chose Apptastic.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, somebody. So
That's
we had
really good.
Somebody came up with that, and it was on BGG. We had a little contest. So the winner is going to get a nice selection of some roll and write games that Suzanne's put together. So yeah, so it's going to be good.
I mean, that's the big thing. BGA, you could bois de jeu, all these game, tabletop, all these different sites you can play. I can't wait to see you guys play. It's gonna be different, something interesting.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
I'm looking forward to it. All right, this is a board game show. I don't know if you know, Mandy.
Yes.
And on a board game show, we have to play a board game. We have to play a game, right?
Oh boy, I'm scared.
On our show, we play a game called Jambalaya, and it is sponsored by our friends over at Game Toppers. Berkey's got a Kickstarter that's going to be starting in about a month. And because with the Kickstarter, I'm sure you saw your friend Eric did this cool video to launch it. If you guys go out and click on the link and then click on the contest link and click on a couple of buttons, you can enter a cool contest to win about $1,000. If you watch the videos, you got about $1,000 in Game Topper LLC stuff. And you even have a chance at winning a mat, one of his awesome mats. And I have 2 of them, and they are phenomenal. Those mats. You've played on Game Toppers.
I have, actually.
Yeah, they're everywhere. They're at every convention now. So, so that's the thing. So the Jambalaya game, it's very simple, man. You're going to love this.
Oh, boy.
It's sort of a mashup, maybe sort of punny. We're going to take a game out of your collection.
Oh, boy.
And things that are interesting to you, and we mash them up together. I'll give you an example, okay?
Okay.
So if we were talking about this 2-player tactical game from Cosmos about connecting islands and bridges, did you know it comes with its own theme song?
Oh, boy.
It seems no worries.
I knew it.
For the rest of your days. All right, so what game are we talking about there?
Kahuna.
Kahuna Matata. So that would be the answer. Kahuna
like
Matata. Yes, you got to get the whole thing. And,
boy.
Yes, Steve loves it. He loves putting in these clues that make me sing. So a couple of these.
I got to do a disclaimer, though. Don't at me if I'm terrible at this game.
No, I am horrible at it. So big shout out to Steve, the name father. He works really hard in getting these. So
okay.
Do you understand the game? You think you're ready for it?
I don't know if I'm ready, but I got it.
Richard Brees.
Yes. Richard
Brees. He has a new theme planned for one of the games in his series. This time, he's going to bring workers to the Haight-Ashbury section of 1960s San Francisco.
What is this? Oh, my goodness.
All right. So you know Richard Brees and you know his games.
I do.
All right. 1960s San Francisco.
That is not ringing any bells for me.
What fashion was that? Well,
it's mod, that's for sure. But I honestly don't.
Steve, this is a tough one. So I actually messed up. Oh, she's close, Steve. She's right on it. So what flower power you said? So what Richard Brees game would that be?
So key flower power?
She's got it.
It took a while, but I got
You're amazing in this game already. Wow. Nice. Jambalaya, seriously, it says, tell Steve to answer my cease and desist letter for the Jambalaya game. You cannot tell a Louisiana boy and claim the Jambalaya game. No, Jeremy. I'm from Louisiana. I'm going to call it the Jambalaya game. All right, so here we go. And Steve reminds you, everybody checking out that Berkey's contest. Make sure you give some love to our friends at the Dukes of Dice and also the Board Game Gumbo. We'd love to see if you can check those off. Get yourself a mat. Get yourself a chance at a mat. All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
If the festivals in Catalonia were to involve making animal towers, what would you call the pachyderm?
Oh my God. This involves geography and things. Oh,
what
boy.
Board game would that be?
Okay, I need you to repeat it one more time for me.
Sure. If the festivals in Catalonia were to involve making animal
Oh.
towers, what would you call the pachyderm?
Okay,
You'd want to put the pachyderm on the bottom of the...
So I know the game is Castell.
Chat crew, she's giving you a hint. Can you get it?
Oh gosh.
What's a pachyderm? What's a pachyderm? What's the other word for a pachyderm?
I'm drawing a blank. That's an elephant. It literally was like, how would this be elephant? I know Castell is the game, but
Marshall Wills stole it from me right before Nick got it. Elephants.
Yeah, I never would have got that. Castell I got, we were good. I had that down. The rest of it,
you did. Are you a Disney fan, Mandy?
I love Disney.
Yeah, I knew that. Not many people know, though. The new Disney game involves beating Prince John, Maleficent, and Ursula. But this time, instead of cards, you use magical habanero peppers.
Okay.
Peppers. What game are we talking about there?
Okay, so there's a game with peppers. It's Scoville.
Tell me more.
Hold on, I need to think about this. I love how I can get the games, but nothing else.
You were very good at getting the games.
Okay, sorry. One more time. ADHD kicks in. One more time.
Squirrel. Not many people know that you can beat Prince John, Maleficent, and Ursula in the new Disney game simply through the magical power of habanero peppers. And Kevin, who is very good at this game, Kevin got it. It's Scovillinous.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I didn't realize it could be a merging of the two games.
Yep. Yeah. It's a mashup. It can be punny. It's all of those.
Got it. It's a mixture. Okay. Because I was going to say that and I'm like, I didn't know if it could be both. Okay.
So you were on it. You were right on it then. But don't worry. Hey, no shame there. Kevin is very good at this game.
Yeah. So. But yes, I did know Villainous. I just played that recently, actually.
What'd you think?
I liked it. I don't need to own it.
Yeah. I needed to own it only because it was $12 at the local dime store. I forgot what they call it. Yeah. It had some of that green goop that the kids have. That kind of got on. So I had to clean that off. But it was $12.
$12. Can't say no to that.
Can't be $12. And at 12 Canadian, that would be like 500 million or something.
Pretty much. Yeah, it's pretty expensive.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Bradley says, I'm just making up the rules as we go along. No,
sure,
it's like normal game night.
Exactly. House rules.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
If Amy Poehler, you know Amy Poehler?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. If her lovable comedy about government ended with the town of Pawnee building enclosures for pandas and koalas, what game would it be called? What would we call that game?
Okay, so I feel like she was in a show that I don't know. It's probably like The Office or something. I have no idea.
It's by the people that did The Office.
Yeah, and that's what I figured. And Parks and Recs or something to that effect. Yeah, so Parks and Recs. I'm trying to think of the game. Koalas and pandas, you said?
Yep. So, building enclosures for koalas and pandas. And Kevin's got it again.
Ow! Son of a gun. I just had it a moment. Okay.
You were right on it, Mandy.
You know what it was that threw me off? It was the koalas and pandas. I'm like, bears? Okay.
Barron, Parks and Rec.
But it's funny. I've never seen Parks and Rec.
So I've seen almost every single episode of The Office, and I've never seen a single episode of Parks and Rec.
I've heard it's good.
Oh, my two sons love Parks and Rec. Oh my God, they love it. I just haven't seen it. Just not enough time once you start board games.
No, exactly. I'm trying to catch up on Lucifer right now, so it's a thing.
Ooh, this next game. I was glad Steve included it because I love this game. But let's see if you can get it.
Okay, let me try.
I was glad to see it's in your top 100. A brilliant mashup of two games has you trying to scam suckers foolish enough. They're fools. They're going to invest with you as you try to westernize Meiji, Japan.
They try and westernize
Meiji, Japan.
Meiji.
But you're gonna scam them. You're not really westernizing Japan. They're just foolish enough to think they are.
Okay, wait. So I know I had, and please excuse my geography, I had Nippon on my list. And I had, oh my gosh, this is a hard one.
Nippon, you say?
I know, but I'm trying to think of what the next thing is. Scam people.
trying to
Oh,
scam suckers
right.
foolish enough to invest with you as you try to westernize Japan. Bradley, you should be on this one. Bradley loves this game.
I feel like I should know the first one, and I don't have a lot of games that are mean. So
Oh, and this one is really mean.
why is it not coming to me?
Oh,
can't.
chat crew, your chance to steal.
I know I can't. I definitely think I have half of it, so that's good. But
Oh, if I give a hint,
maybe because I can't think of what it could be.
Jesse Lee.
I still don't know.
No. Oh, I thought that would be it for you.
No.
Jesse Lee.
Now I'm gonna feel awful that I might not know what this is.
All right, chat crew, I'm gonna call it. Giving you a couple of seconds. Oh, I knew Bradley would get it. It just took him a second.
Oh, so Ponzi scheme. Ponzi scheme was not on my top 100.
It wasn't, but Nippon was.
But Nippon was. You're right. That's why. And it's funny. I didn't think about that one. Yeah.
Ponzi scheme. Have you played Ponzi scheme?
I did. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, it can be mean.
Mm-hmm.
It can be very mean. It was very mean the other night, especially when we found out that Bradley has taught it to us wrong for like 10 games. It took a fellow from Iowa to teach Bradley the right way to play it. So. Turnabout is fair play there, Bradley. Take that. All right, here we go. Number 7. Are the race planners insane, Mandy? Have they lost their minds? The cobblestone streets and bridges of medieval of Belgium are not the place for a frantic mass of cyclists. You have to agree with me on that.
You're killing me with these. Okay, so let me think here. There's a game about cyclists. I have one in my mind. That did not make my list. Oh, boy. Okay, so I know there's Flamme Rouge, which is about bikers.
Bradley, it's all about the comedy, man. I'm just doing shtick here.
Okay, I need you to repeat it because now I'm just like...
Sure, I'm sorry. I'm laughing at Bradley's comment about me doing elephant impersonations. Okay, ready? Yeah. Are the race planners insane? The cobblestone streets and bridges of medieval Belgium are not the place for a frantic mass of cyclists.
Oh, the only cyclist game that I know that I've played is probably Flamme Rouge.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I having a problem with I can get half, but not the other half?
You've gotten every single game so far, every one.
It's just the next part.
Yeah.
And then
you mentioned cobblestone streets and bridges of medieval Belgium.
Medieval. Which describes actually quite a few games.
It could.
But I know there's probably one in particular. I don't think I know it. I need help. Help me out, chat.
The medieval bridges of Belgium are in a certain town that has been untouched by war and for years and years and years. It's Flamme Rouge.
Oh my goodness, Bruges. I can't believe I didn't get that.
Which is French or no, Latin for bridge?
Bruges, yeah, because in French it's pont.
For us it's pont. Like
pont. P-O-N-T. Yeah.
Flamme Rouge. Oh, hey, there's Jesse. Now remember the chat crew is a little bit behind us, so he's still getting it. By the time he sees it, we haven't called it yet. So good job. Good job. Kevin, don't say that. I'm proud to say I know nothing about Belgium. It's a lovely country, by the way, if you ever get a chance to visit. It is a lovely country. And a certain designer is going to be very disappointed when he sees this video, Mandy.
Oh, probably.
That you didn't get Bruges. All right, that's all right.
I'm sorry.
All right, are we ready for the next one?
Yes.
All right. We're the prey. They're a stalking. Run away. The zombies walking. Are you on the team? I'm going to scream. We're in a...
It's a dead of winter. Wonderland.
You got it already.
It's because it's creepy. That's why.
Yeah, you like those. Yeah,
I love it.
Like those. Well, that was quick. Sorry, chat crew. She was on top of that one. Good job.
Dead of Winter is one of my favorites. Great game.
Oh, I bet she gets this one too. She likes the horror stuff. Cthulhu Yahtzee. It's fun, but can we make it a little bit more crunchy? Wait, I know. Let's add a maddening little point salad, a little green point salad from the master of point salads to go with it.
Okay, well, point salad, I mean, that's a Feld. Come on, we all know that. Cthulhu-based games are the only one that I can think of with lots of dice. There's Elder Sign. Trying to think. I think Elder Sign, but I'm trying to think because I played all the Arkhams. No, that doesn't have. There's also
Add a
Mansions of
maddening
Madness.
little green point salad from the master to go with it.
Oh.
You know, the mashup doesn't have to be 2 games. It could be something else.
Oh, it's not Mansions of Feld. Felder Sign. Because I started off with Elder Sign, but I couldn't figure out how to get it together.
You said Stefan Feld. You said Elder Sign. Just didn't put them together. And
then Kevin I diverted to Mansions.
As Kevin does every week, he just swoops up and he takes the trash bucket. Oh.
Hey, I'm good for the help. I appreciate. I just like provide the little bit of information, and then they take it home for the win.
You have been very good at the games, that's for sure. All right, I got one for you. I want to see if I think Suzanne would get this one. I'm assuming he says you've got it in your top 100. So let's see.
Okay.
This tiny, well, I don't know which game though, because I didn't check.
Okay.
This tiny little push your luck worker placement game is all about diving for treasure.
Yes.
But you're wearing your best D&D chainmail while you're diving. Can you complete the quest before you run out of oxygen and intrigue?
Okay. Well, Deep Sea Adventure.
Kevin says you got to start keeping the game under your hat, Mandy.
Oh, sorry, I meant just yelling it out.
I like the way you do it.
I'm sorry. Like, I'm a teacher. What the hell?
You're walking us through it.
I'm gonna walk you through it. So, Deep Sea Adventure, definitely. It almost sounds like a Lords of Waterdeep sort of thing happening over there. No. Oh God, this is a hard one. Deep sea water, no, deep sea adventure. Oh, Lords. I see water deep sea adventure. Forgot the Lords.
You had it the other way. You said deep sea adventure, Lords of Waterdeep. If you had said it the other way, you had it.
No, and then I said water deep sea adventure, and I forgot the Lords.
Kevin, you're a little too slow in that one. Lords of Water Deep Sea Adventure. Bradley is right about that one. All right, we only got a few left, so let's see if we can knock some out for you.
All right.
This mashup is 2 Feld games squared, action tracks in the South Seas Islands, and using dice to please Zeus in ancient Greece. Put them together, and what do you get?
Okay. Is there dice in that game? Oh, yeah. Well, the only thing with Zeus that he's ever done would be what we just talked about today. So that's the Oracle of Delphi. And sorry, what was the first bit I did? Can you...
Action tracks in the South Sea Islands.
Action tracks. I hope it's a Feld I've played, because there are a few I have not.
I have not played this one.
I might not have, actually. Action tracks. I have a feeling it's a game that I haven't played.
Think in terms of the South Sea Islands. What games has he done with the South Sea Islands?
I mean, with the islands is Amerigo, but I don't remember place where that is. Most of it is... Oh, Bora, and I love Bora Bora.
I haven't played it. Bora Bora of Delphi.
Bora Bora is another one that is very divisive.
I haven't heard anything good about it. So you're the first person to tell me that you like it.
I love the colors. Don't get me wrong. It's super busy. But
you know what? I might be thinking of La Isla. Maybe that's the one.
Oh, I played that one too.
Yeah.
It's that one's fine. It's light.
Next one up. Ready, Mandy?
Mm-hmm.
Top of the top 100 games for you. Like Caesar, this game came, it saw, and it conquered. And yes, you need to use the Latin.
You need to use the Latin. Okay, sorry, say it again.
Mandy's top of the top 100 games. Like Caesar, it came, it saw, it conquered. And yes, you need to use the Latin.
Well, I know what my top one was, but no, that doesn't work. Oh,
I've got the list here. Let me see what your top number 1 was.
Yeah, so my number 1 for sure. Like that's
it certainly is. Very good, Steve. That's a good clue. This is a really good clue.
It's good, but I feel like I'm not getting the other part of it.
Oh, you were not a history major in college.
Oh my gosh, no. Absolutely not. Anything to do with, and listen, I always tell people, people are like, oh, it's not that it's not something I'm particularly skilled at. I'm skilled at many other things. History is not one of them.
I'm the son of a history major.
So this is very disappointing for you. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
But if you ask me to quote from Shakespeare, double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble, I can do that for you.
Oh, okay. Very nice.
Bonus stars if you know where that's from. Okay,
that is Macbeth?
Here. It is Macbeth. One of my
I've got an English teacher for a wife, so.
Oh, well, okay. Well, you're just covering all the bases.
Kevin, nope, not Merchants of Venus, Vidi Vici.
Which I've never played. So, yeah, I won't give away the other game. Okay.
Viticulture, the Essential Edition. That's what it is.
So what is that?
So
is that
Vini Vidi
yes.
is the famous Caesar quote, I came, I saw, I conquered.
Ah, okay. I learned something new.
There it is. And that goes to Bradley. Nicely done. All right, last one. It's so sad. This is the last one.
Oh.
You ready?
Yeah.
Wolverine. You know who I'm talking about, Wolverine?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. He is sent back in time to save his fellow mutant heroes, but he got distracted during the rescue. He's trying to recreate the color palettes
yes.
of centuries of great artwork. So Wolverine, sent back in time to save his fellow mutant heroes, but he got distracted by having to recreate the color palettes of centuries of great artwork. What are we talking about there?
Okay, well, there's many games that are about art that I can think of. Two instantly come to mind, but it's probably not the one I'm thinking of.
You got to get the right first part. I think it will help you.
This is the problem. And I'm very familiar with Wolverine and all that. I just don't know necessarily what you're asking in that first part. Okay. That's where I'm going to struggle. I know the movies and I know the situation. I just don't know. Are you looking for a character?
No, Steve's looking for a movie there.
Oh, okay.
And he's describing it, sent back in time to save his fellow mutant heroes.
I'm just trying to remember which one it is now. That's the problem. So, yeah, this is going to be rough. The second part.
I would not have gotten this one. Number one, I don't know the game. So,
well, there's two games, and I'll just yell it out there. So there's The Gallerist. There's Pastiche, which is actually one of my favorites.
Kevin says, say the game. I'll split the points with you.
So Pastiche is the one about palettes and making colors, and that's probably the one it is. There's also The Gallerist, which is art.
That would be tough to fit with a mutant, though.
That's it. So which one, The Gallerist or Pastiche?
Yeah, The Gallerist.
Yeah, that's right. I haven't seen Endgame. I know. Days of Future Pastiche. So Pastiche, I knew.
Yeah, X-Men Days of Future Pastiche. That's Nick was right there too. Everybody was on it.
Oh, come on, though. You have to give me points. Pastiche. How many people know Pastiche?
Steve is marking it officially. He gave you a half point on that one. And I don't blame him because he gave you a bunch. He's got Kevin and Mandy on a bunch of them. This was the Kevin and Mandy show tonight when it came to the jambalaya.
Kevin,
game.
high five.
I'm going to give Kevin and Mandy the big win tonight for joint because you supplied the game and he supplied the clue.
All the things that I didn't know. It was like, hey, got it.
That was awesome. And that is how you play the jambalaya game.
Fun.
Don't forget out there, make sure you click on that link and log in for that contest for the big Game Toppers $1,000 Holmes thing they're giving out in June, but also a game mat. Just click on, give a little love to the Dukes of Dice and to Gumbo Live. Hey, tell people about your con travel this year. Where are you going to be? What's your next big convention? Am I going to see you at Dice Tower Con?
Yes. So all the Dice Tower, the big Dice Tower ones, I will be there. I think also Suzanne, except for actually Suzanne won't be at Dice Tower Con, but I will be at Dice Tower Con. I'm hoping to make a visit to Disney. But the next con I'm going to is Origins. So you'll see me there. Dice Tower isn't officially going. I think Z's making an appearance with Roy. I'm going with my own channel, so it'll be a little bit more relaxed. I'll be able to actually play some games, and that'll be nice. And no Gen Con this year. Gen Con is not one of my favorite conventions. It's a lot. And
you and Suze came by the Gray Fox booth last year, but I don't think you were. I don't think you guys were that excited. It's a rough convention, man.
Especially for us, it's work.
Yeah,
like we actually played one game the entire convention, and it literally was in our pajamas in the room. We pushed the table together between our beds, played it, and went to bed. So it's not the most exciting.
I have a good time, but it's a rough convention. Dice Tower Con is easily my favorite, although BGG Con is sneaking up on it. I had such a good time at BGG Con.
BGG Con's a nice one. I wish I could do more of it, but yeah, Origins, Dice Tower Con, skipping Gen Con. Then we're going into Essen, so I'll be at Essen, and then PAX Unplugged. Dice Tower Cruise the next year, and I think that covers them all.
I didn't hear Southern Board Game Fest, our local convention, so I guess you're not going to make that one.
Oh, sorry. And some Canadian local ones. So I don't know if anybody's from the Ottawa area or even Ottawa-Gatineau area. I will be doing things locally. Canaticon, which is actually very close to my house. That's our game group that puts it on, and I help run that. So look for me there. Can Games just finished, but I'll be there next year. And Breakout next year, Breakout Con in Toronto.
You're a busy person.
Very.
Yeah, Jesse says 5 weeks to Dice Tower Con. I'll be hanging out with the crew from iHeart Board Games and playing some games every night. Just look for us. We're the crazy people playing games till midnight every night in the library. So, and I'll also be working with Alex Goldsmith at the Gray Fox booth. Nice. So make sure you come by. Wait, Kevin says, can you repeat that? No, she's not going to repeat that long list. That's a long list.
Go to my Twitter page. And I actually have it posted. I have to update it, but it has a listing of all the conventions where I'll be. But if it's a Dice Tower one, 99% of the chance I will be there.
All right, board gamers, that's it for another episode of Gumbo Live. I want to thank my guests, Mandi, who did an awesome job tonight. You and Kevin knocked it out of the park in the Jambalaya game. How can they reach you? What is your Twitter handle?
Oh my goodness, Twitter. So it's Board Gamer Pinup. Instagram, Board Gaming Pinup Girl. I know, someone stole it on Twitter. I know, it's crazy. So those are probably the main places you'll get me. Yeah, and then Dice Tower. So Mandi, that's Mandi with an I, at dicetower.com if you want to send me any questions or comments.
Make sure to like our Facebook page, facebook.com/BoardGameGumbo. It helps us get the word out about all of our upcoming guests and shows, including one I think you've been on. Chris Whitpan from Game All Night is going to be on. We're going to do a double episode. We're both going to be broadcasting to do his show and my show at the same time. I don't know how it's going to work. It's probably going to flop, but we're going to try this thing next week.
Sounds great.
I'm BJ from Board Game Gumbo, and until next time, Mandi, laissez le bon temps rouler.